In the last class, we have studied the technological gap model and international trade. How does the technological gap model drive international trade? How the international trade is governed by the technological differences. So here we have a product cycle model of international trade. This is just an extension of the Posner's technological gap model of 1961. So here we are going to discuss the trade based on dynamic technological differences. So as I said, product cycle model is just the expansion and generalization of the Posner's technological gap model. This product cycle model of international trade was developed fully by Vernon in 1966. The model states that high-skilled laborers are required when a new product is introduced with new technology. So as the commodity or product matures and get mass acceptance, low-skilled laborers will start producing. Low-skilled laborers will learn how to produce that commodity. When an innovation is introduced in the innovating nation, that innovation helps the nation produce the commodity in higher volume and enable that nation to export that commodity to another nation. So the trade is initially driven by innovation and later by imitation. The importing nation will learn steadily how to produce that commodity. The producers and laborers of the importing nation learn how to produce the commodity, how to repair the commodity. That means this is the copying of the technique of production in the importing nation. This is imitation. This is just imitation, and this imitation also helps that importing nation to produce massively that commodity and export back that commodity to the innovating nation. This is the shift in technology, shift in comparative advantage from the innovating nation to the imitating nation. For example, computer is invented in the United States, and later Indians became the experts in computer, in software. This is the shift in advantage from the United States to India. So why does this change in comparative advantage happen from the innovating nation to the imitating nation? Innovating nation will be mostly industrialized advanced economies where the laborers are costlier. For example, in the United States, laborers are not abundantly available. It is a scarce factor, and it's a costlier factor as well. At the same time, the laborers in the developing nation will be cheaper. It is abundantly available. They start learning how to produce that commodity, and that nation will get the comparative advantage, as that nation is more able to produce more efficiently than the innovating nation. So this is the way in which comparative advantage is shifted from the innovating nation to the imitating nation. So I have a classic example for you regarding the product cycle model. After the Second World War, the United States developed a new vacuum tube, and they start massively producing the radio with the introduction of vacuum tube, and this has helped the United States dominate the radio market. They massively starts producing a radio and exporting to Japan. So the United States is an innovating country, and Japan is the importing country. Later on, Japan learned the technology, and they massively starts producing that commodity with the help of their relatively cheaper labor, and they exported radio back to the United States. This is a shift in comparative advantage over radio from the United States, innovating country, to the imitating country, importing country, that is Japan. So this is an example for product cycle model. So have a look at the diagram depicting the product cycle model of international trade. We look at the diagram. The horizontal axis shows the time period. We have 5 stages of production, 5 stages, stage 1 to stage 5. See, these are the different stage time period, and vertical axis shows the quantity of the commodity that is being innovated, and that could be exported and imported between innovating country and imitating country. So in the stage 1, when the innovation is taking place, the innovating country, only the innovating country is able to produce that commodity, and their 100% production is for their own domestic consumption, as the line you can see is only for consumption. Starting from the origin, it is for the domestic consumption in the innovating country, not the imitating country, innovating country. And in the second stage, as the time passes through, the production level of the innovating country has increased significantly, and they started to produce more commodities than they required. So the excess production has been usually exported to the imitating country. It is shown by the exports in the blue part of the diagram. So that is export. So excess production is exported to the other nation, and at the same time you can see for the imitating country in the stage 2, which is lying below the innovating country's consumption and production level, and their level of consumption is shown by the import in blue color in the second stage. And in the third stage, the production level of the innovating commodity in the innovating country has further increased, and their export to the imitating country has again increased. But in the later stage, the export level of the innovating countries starts declining. That means from the next the importing level of the imitating country also coming down with the fall in export of the innovating country. That means the imitating country or the importing country starts slowly producing that innovating commodity, that they slowly starts learning how to produce that commodity. And in the case of US-Japan radio trade, Japan slowly learns how to produce that technology, how to produce that radio with the newly introduced technology. So this is the copying of the technology by Japan. And in the fourth stage, the export level of the innovating country sharply come down. At the same time, export of the imitating country has sharply increased. So this is the shift in comparative advantage has completely taken place in the stage 4, as the export level of the innovating country sharply declined and export of the imitating country sharply increased. This is just after learning the technology of the innovating country by the imitating country. For example, in Japan learned how to produce radio at cheaper cost than the United States, which is the innovating country, and instead of importing from the United States, Japan starts producing the radio and exported to the United States at even less cheaper rate. So in the last stage, stage 5, what here is happening, that consumption level of the United States is higher than that of their production level. That means the imitating country has increased their export to the innovating country. That means Japan increased their export to the innovating country, United States. So that means this is the shift in comparative advantage from the innovating country to the imitating country as the time passes through, as the different stages are going through. The comparative advantage of producing an innovative product will be shifted from one country to another country. That means from innovating country to the imitating country. So this is the product cycle model, and this is applicable for the trade of many commodities driven by innovation. So initially the commodities are traded because initially the international trade for some commodities are driven by innovation, and later on it is driven by imitation. So this is initially put forward by Posner through his technologically capped model, and it was later extended and generalized by Vernon in his product cycle model. So this is the international trade due to dynamic technological differences in two nations. Thank you.